Uh, I am a solo founder. I am developer and founder. I work as a product manager. I used to be a front-end developer and team lead, and now I started like this year. I started creating like products as a indie hacker and like entrepreneur, solopreneur. And yeah, it was like kind of side experience. I tried this incubation program, but they said like, man, you already have first clients. You don't need incubation program. These people like who like don't know anything, and we should let them in instead of you. And you should go for acceleration programs. So they basically kicked me out after the first stage because you don't need an incubation program. You need acceleration program. So yeah, right now I'm not affiliated with any startup schools. I'm just building my product, VM Wizard.
Yeah, that's really cool. So like, do you mind telling about the product itself, or like you would like to do that a bit later, as you said?
No, I can. I don't know. Like, I just joined, and I don't know your agenda, your current agenda. I can start them right now, if it's okay.
Yeah.
All
by
right.
the way, yeah. While
So,
you're, yeah. Well, sorry for interrupting. While you're sharing your screen, like a small announcement. So this time we are like trying to shift more towards like the talking and like discussing stuff. So there is like no strict agenda today or like anything that we would like to present and so on and so on. So yeah, we'd like to kind of make this format a bit more like add more discussions to the format.
Conversational, I guess.
Yeah.
all right.
But it's, by the way, it's cool to see everybody, and we have some new faces. Vanilla, I missed seeing you the last time, but it's good to have you back. Good to have you back and putting the band back together again. So very cool.
Thank you. Yes, glad to be back.
All right. Well, go right ahead.
Right? Should I start?
Yeah, please go right ahead.
All right. So the idea came to me. It's like I was, like, how they say it, itching my own or scratching my own itch.
That's right.
So I work as a project manager right now in little like agency boutique IT company, and I usually like start project with like talking to customers, talking to stakeholders, and gathering requirements and creating some kind of like project charter, project requirements document. And I realized that I never liked like write documentation, and I think nobody likes to do it. And I realized like, hey, I could automate it, and I think like everybody wants it to be automated. So I came up like the idea is pretty silly. It's like to automate document generation, but I targeted like pretty niche, like it's product management, business analysts, and like outsourcing agencies. So my target audience, like for this pilot, for this MVP, was like basically managers and analysts. And so basically what it is, there are like a bunch of different document types, and you can say like, we want to build acceleration, like free acceleration program for Ukrainian IT specialist. And it can generate for us business model canvas. It will generate it like in 15 seconds. Usually it takes 15 seconds. And this exact document is good for ideation, and it's like good for entrepreneurs, maybe even for startups. So I really like business model canvas. I used to use it a lot when I was working as a product manager in startup. We were like, come on, man, ChatGPT, please. Do it faster. Do it faster.
At least there's no chance it's going to blue screen. It's always going to be yellow, so you don't have to worry about a blue screen of death.
True. Nice one.
Yeah. By the way, ChatGPT opened up the API for the GPT-4 yesterday, and I guess it might take a bit more time than expected right now because everyone tries the 4th version of the API right now. So
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about this. Wow.
Yeah,
interesting.
by the way, our community members like shared that info, because that like I've also completely missed that. But yeah, they pointed it out in the random channel in the community, and I've checked the OpenAPI blog, and yeah, like
Yeah.
they've opened the access. So yeah, that's yet
But
another
I'm
way
usually
how community help
I'm
us.
yeah I'm not just doing it like via it's like something strange. I don't know what happens because another document is generated. Okay,
Yeah, generated. There
I
you
will
go.
check
I
that.
something.
So yeah, it's
Oh, there you
project
go.
risks.
Mhm.
First it generates like a list of risks to select. Then you like risks, development of comprehensive curriculum for the program. Or
Mhm.
it's not risks, it's tasks. Yeah, it's epics and
Mhm.
tasks. So basically, like we are planning our project to start an incubation acceleration program for Ukrainian IT specialists. And so we can like select, I want to plan, develop a comprehensive program. I want to organize sessions. I want to facilitate blah, blah, blah. Well, so I can select some epics, then generate, and it will write a detailed description for each of the epics with subtasks. And so basically we can have like the whole project plan written for us. Yeah, so here it is. Like organizing sessions to explain the acceleration program. Tasks. Identify suitable venues, set the dates, track So we can copy that and paste it to some Notion or Google spreadsheet, whatever, or Jira, and to track this project like here. This like for tasks. Here we have like our business model canvas. And it's pretty good in ideating business model canvases like key partners, Ukrainian IT companies, global tech companies, or government agencies, customer relationship, personalized coaching, mentorship, regular feedback, network opportunities, channels, social media, collaboration with IT communities, word of mouth. So yeah, it's
Sure.
basically like the whole business of this incubation program. Well, it's a draft, but it really can save lots of time because I know that the people who are writing documents, they have like this problem of empty page, like empty lists.
Yeah.
Like you know, when you're trying to start writing some document and you don't know what to start with, and it's like it's the hardest stuff. And so ChatGPT is good for generating some kind of good, suited to your needs, some draft that you can like. You will leave 70% of it. You will change 30% of it, maybe remove something, but it will save you like hours of time. Because you have some kind of draft, some kind of document. You just need to like to improve it, to fine tune it, but it's like basically written for you. Yeah, so that's how it works. And I have like some like four paid customers right now. I didn't done marketing. Well, I wrote one post where I told us like I wrote a story like how I came up with this idea, how I started, how I developed it. And I asked for feedback, and I posted it in some IT-related community. So I have my first customers from here. I have 2 customers from Google Search because good news is like I have these different product document types, and so there some documents like already have like market requirements document. I have like I don't know 12 20 visits per month. Only like for market requirements document. So yeah, basically each document is like a potential entry point in Google to this site. Some kind of that. So and now I'm starting a second round of customer development. I want to like I have like 200 emails right now. It's like people who tried it. I have like maybe 10 or 20 weekly active users who like generating documents weekly without like any marketing. So it's like just basically organic right now. And also people sometimes share it with their colleagues and some that kind of stuff. And I want to ask these people to call to understand like their pain points better, to understand which customer segments who are using it and for what. Because I already found out that customer base is very segmented and well, Like there are people who like tech leads and who wants to generate like tech savvy documentation, like for architecture and diagrams, that kind of stuff. There are people like business analysts who wants to write like descriptions of user stories and requirements. There are people who like entrepreneurs who want to ideate fast, right? Like use these canvases and value proposition canvases. There are people who like to analyze their competitors. One of my paid customers, he like generating only SWOT analysis. He generated like 20, I know, 30 SWOT analysis. He writes, he worked in the phone and tablet cases manufacturing company, and he writing the name of his competitor, like manufacturing company, and their product name, like these iPhone cases or these industrial iPad cases, and it generates SWOT analysis for him with like strengths, weaknesses, and it's like helped him ideate and to understand like on which weaknesses and which strengths he can play in his marketing campaign when he's selling his like iPad industrial iPad cases and that kind of stuff. So and he was generating like only like 30 SWOT analysis. It's like 20 different documents. They are like, I think all the other document types, they are more complex. They were harder to implement because SWOT analysis is like really, I implemented it in 20 minutes and added it to this slide. And he was generating only them, and he paid to generate only SWOT analysis because he reached like, I have like premium 3 daily generations limit right now. And he was generating this SWOT analysis. He reached the daily generation limit, and he wanted like to generate 10 SWOT analysis daily instead of 3. And he paid me. So interesting cases, very different, like different segments, and I need to understand them better. So I want to organize.
Sure. Let me ask,
like
what ones are people using the most? On the like, do you have an idea of what they're using more often?
I have analytics. I don't. I remember like last time I seen this. It was app requirements. So people like basically like writing the description of their app, and it generates like a nice. I can show you my own example. App. Do I have some apps here? Project Charter. No, I don't have them here. I removed all of them. All right, so yeah, it was app requirements, it was feature requirements, and like most of people, retention is pretty poor right now. So they like most of them generating like 1 document or 2 documents and then leave it, and they are not coming back. But like some people are staying.
Yeah, I would think that for like a like if you're doing a lean like a lean canvas, like I would think that you would not do that every day. You'd probably do that once in a while. But other documents might be that they're using them, or the different services that you're providing are using them more frequently.
Yeah. It depends. Yeah, some documents like people need them every week. Some documents people need them like once in a quarter or something. But it also depends on like who you are. If you are a consultant who like consulting different product managers and like doing 20 different calls with people and like discussing business model canvas with them, you will generate like 5 business model canvases every day. If you are a project manager in outsourcing company, business model canvases is like it's you don't need it at all. You will never do this. So yeah, it also depends. One of the hypotheses, like one friend suggested to me, is like maybe I should focus on like consultants, on agencies who like doing like these canvases and who like who will like really appreciate the value of this, because ChatGPT can't give you like a pretty business model canvas with like a horizontal template, and it's really pretty to implement. But the value for like entrepreneurs and consultants is really good. For people who like doing this business model canvases every day, it's like really great. But I think I just didn't reach to them yet.
Sure.
So yeah, I need also like different places to find my target audience. Yeah. So yeah, it's lots of different ideas.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, very cool. One of the challenges I think I've always had when I talk to people about using AI for product management is that it's not a permission to remove your brain from your head and just let it tell you things. Like you have to go in and think about what was produced and see if it's actually true. And
you have to check it.
that's like especially with personas. I know that user personas for me, it was like, man, it's just saying things. Maybe it's right, but my God, how do you really know if it's really accurate? It might give you a starting point that you can measure from, but also I think it can give it could give a like take you in a certain direction where now you're trying to see if other people fit that persona instead of building the persona from scratch, right? It gives a certain bias. So it's a little, it's a blessing and a curse, because I totally get where you want to start from a hello world. You don't want to have a blank document. That can be, sitting in front of a blank Google document is unnerving sometimes.
Of course, yeah.
But at the same time, we can lead people in the other direction where maybe it's not, like, well, they're going to start going down a path, and maybe there are other paths they should evaluate too. But it's cool. I like it.
It definitely can help, like with ideation and brainstorming, and then you still have to validate it. And also when you are writing like requirements, like as a project manager, like let's say you're writing a project charter, well, you see right away, like, is this like paragraph of text is good for you or it's not? You can delete it or you can like keep it. And so I don't see any cons in this process at all. It just saves you time, because it's like wrote lots of text, relevant text for you. Rare different use cases. Of course, so when you're talking to customers, when you're making discovery, of course, like you have to forget about all your like hypothesis, and you just have to listen and to ask people for their experience, their workflow, their pain points. Something like this.
How much time did it took to build this whole product?
I built MVP in like 1 month, and like
guess Ivan disappeared, like not only for me, or like
no, it's for me too. I think.
Okay, yeah, probably.
Rose.
Yeah. Okay. So yes.
Well, I have some build basically in 2 or 3 weeks. Then I have like wrote this post right away because I wanted to start collecting the feedback. I didn't want to like develop this like for 6 months and then realize that it's like nobody cares about it. So yeah, I developed like 4 document types. It was like business model canvas, lean canvas, SWOT analysis, and also like app requirements or something like this. Then I collected first round of feedback. It was like in 1 month, I think. I conducted 5 customer interviews. I added like 15 more documents in like 1.5 months or something like this. But it was like all like nights and weekends, because I have like my main job. And last month I did almost nothing because I had lots of things to do on my main job. And like last week I came back to this, and I make it redone. I'm also thinking about making like a complete redesign and rebranding because it's also one of my friends suggested it to me, like to make it more like white background, blue button, some simple silly name without dash in the domain name. Or not dash. I forgot how it's called. Minus.
A dash
symbol.
You got it.
A dash, yeah. So to make it like more standard for like consultants, managers, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I didn't design anything at all. Like this whole design is I take it from I took it from Daisy UI. It's open source library. Yeah. So yeah, they have like 12 different themes and I just liked it, like this yellow one. And yeah, so I wanted to do it like really fast.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, it actually
used
it looks
frameworks,
good
used
with
tools.
the. It looks good with the. Actually, I kind of like it with the. It looks like Courier font, like it's the type, like like an old typewriter font. Like to me, it reminds me of like the old computer days, and the old the old font. I like that retro. I don't know if you call it retro or not. Or to me, it's more utilitarian. Like
It's
here's
just
what we need.
monospace. Yeah, it's default
Yeah.
system monospace. I even like don't import any like external fonts. It just this font probably will look different on Windows and Mac, but it's still like
Yeah.
it still looks pretty much the same, because like this how to say,
Yeah.
mono fonts.
Monospace.
Yeah, monospace. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it's not Comic Sans, you're probably okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask about so you put, how did you determine your pricing for this? I'm kind of curious if you how did that, did you do research on that, or how did you figure out how to structure
No,
this?
I just did it like what it felt okay. Like, for
Yeah.
MVP, for like a product built in 1 month.
Mhm.
Right now, nobody bought this like Pro early bird $7 per month. Everybody is buying Believer 25 per year right away.
Got it.
And actually, it's a good trick, because this yearly it's a nice trick. Yeah, I think people who are building products can use it use it more often, because it's like a really huge discount in comparison with Pro. So it's like just forcing people to buy a Pro and become like a loyal supporter right away, instead of like just paying you $7 and forget about it right away. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, do you plan bootstrapping your app, or you'd like to try to get some investments or something like this?
I thought about it. I don't know. I think I don't see any need to get investments, because like I can do everything like almost for free. I can search for more clients. I can like make this organic growth. I can write more posts, and yeah, it will be not so fast. Like if I get some investments, hire the team, and we started aggressive marketing, all this venture stuff. But I don't know. I think if you can grow like by yourself, you should do it. And yeah, why to take like additional commitment and like release some deadlines, and it's hard. I like to do it like on my own right now. So yeah, but if I will reach like 1,000 MRR, maybe I will hire someone like support or content or something like this. So I think it's a good to start by yourself, and yeah, I'm bootstrapped. Yeah, let's say that.
Yeah, like I guess a couple more side points there. So I really like that basically the content that you're generating is working as a CEO for your website, like your own website. That's like absolutely brilliant idea. I need to write it down somewhere, because like that's really cool. And the second thing is that I see that you pointed out that GPT-4 model for more accurate generated documents that require fewer corrections in the Believer plan, but from what I know, the GPT-4 API pricing is drastically higher than GPT 3.5. So probably they will decrease it over time. But for now, if you've got users that are like running their SWOT analysis daily, multiple times, that might like
it will be a problem.
User, yeah, that user might run out of $25 per year really quickly. So yeah, probably that's something to
with GPT-4 I will definitely change the price. Yeah, it should be higher than that. Maybe like a Believer without GPT-4 $25 per year, and with GPT-4 it will be like $100, something like this. Yeah, it makes sense. I also was thinking about Whisper. I like these meeting notes. I don't know. Have you heard about this? It's like the whole bench of products. Super powered is like one of they had product hunt launch like a couple of weeks ago, and they like welcome them to Brecht, and I really like what they done. So it's basically like without any bots, it's just listening to your microphone, generating your meeting notes for that. But well, they made it like very expensive, right? Right now it's like per monthly, it's like $25 per month for only 10 meeting notes, for only 10 meetings, and it's too expensive. I can play with the price and make it cheaper, and to make the interface some simpler. Yeah, well, I tried this product. I also found like there are some even Ukrainian products I've seen. I can show you them if you're interested.
Sure. Let me also, I'll mention while you're doing that, GPT 3.5 is actually a smaller model, if I remember correctly, than GPT-3. And GPT-3 is significantly less expensive than GPT-4. So if you're getting good results from this and you're using, say,
3.5,
GPT-3, you may, or 3.5, you may do just fine. Like, for example, for the things that we're working on, I don't have a plan to go to GPT-4 right now because of, it's just, you know, it's orders of magnitude more expensive. And we're getting good results from 3. We don't use 3.5, we just use 3, the original one that came out, not the original, but the one that came out last
I also
year.
think that the GPT 3.5 is completely like sufficient for like, I don't know, 90% of use cases. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think GPT-4. I think it makes sense to add it to your product as like a premier feature for like people. Like if it's a product, I think Taplio they called. So it's like a social management platform. I think it's for LinkedIn. So yeah, it's like for LinkedIn creators. It's like different tools. They are like giving you nice analytics for your LinkedIn posts, like which posts like have high engagement or which are not. They give you like inspirations, so which posts are working like now, like templates for posts. So yeah, bunch of different tools for like LinkedIn content creators, and they have like pretty high price, like $55 per month, and they have like powered by GPT-4. So I think like for like kind of premium products, like let's say the premium product is those who is taking like more than $50 per month, like 50 to I don't know 100 or maybe $200 per month. It makes sense to edit like GPT-4 as a premium feature. But for most users, and definitely like in smaller SaaS, like which I am currently in, like from $5 per month to $49 per month. It makes sense to use the GPT 3.5, but it will be completely enough. Yeah. I started to talking about this superpowers. Yeah, I have an idea to add here like meeting notes right to PM Research. I already experimented with it, and I like this idea because like most of the people don't need to write documents every day, but most of the people, like also like managers, scrum masters, I don't know, analysts, entrepreneurs, they have lots of meetings almost every day. So it's like recurring job, and it's if you are doing like automated meeting notes, you have automatic like you have nice retention, like just because you are doing the job, the task that is recurring, and people need to do it every day. So I like to pivot this. I thinking about it to pivot this to meeting notes app, and like based on your meeting, you can generate a document. So you have like interview with your customer. He asked you like for he tell you his like pain points and workflows and what features he need, and you just like click the button and it generated feature requirements for your development team just based on your conversation with this customer. I think it could be like a nice pivot, nice potential time saver. Like
like Absolutely amazing demo. Like honestly, that's like pretty impressive for an app like built over ChatGPT. So yeah, I really hope you will be able to like get into that marketing stuff as soon as possible. And yeah, hopefully in the nearest future we'll have a successful like kind of startup in our community. So yeah, that like it looks amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
by
actually, before we jump in, let me ask you, Evan, do you have any questions for the folks here that you want to, like, as you're doing your part of your own product research?
Yeah,
because you've got product managers and folks like that here. I mean, this is a good time if you had anything on off the top of your head you wanted to ask, because you've been doing all the talking, doing the demo, but I also want to make sure other folks, if they want to chime in, or if you have questions for anybody on the call, perhaps this is a good time.
Oh, I don't know. It's like make 5 customer interviews like at once.
Well, it doesn't have to be
I don't know.
necessarily customer interviews, but I was thinking because, and I know it's on the spot, so don't, if it's no big deal, but I thought, well, there's other folks on the call here, maybe they have comments or feedback, or maybe
I think like if maybe you have some questions, maybe I can share with someone because like now, I just like show and
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. Yeah.
Sure. No, that's a good point. Anybody?
yeah, yeah, please
I
go.
may.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to ask if you thought about the trials to sort of gate your value and then connect them to a paid plan.
Well, for now, I even thought about like go to another way and like to make for people more daily generations available for free, just like to get more usage information, get more feedback. So I think well, there are very loud people over here. So right now I need more usage, I need more feedback, and I'm okay like if people will use it even for free. And so I think I'm in different stage. I think like thinking about pricing, like experimenting with that, like even I know A/B tests. Yeah, I talked with a guy who like make an app, and he has like 15 different pricing plans for different people from different countries right now, and he's experimented with it a lot. So right now I need like just more active users. I need more feedback on like I need more their use cases, more their personas. So I think pricing is not my main focus right now.
Got it. All right, that's clear. Thanks.
Yeah, small spoiler, Vanilla is a product manager here on the call, so hey. Yeah, so yeah, do you have anything to say about that? Because like honestly, I'm really curious about, like, I'm not a product manager myself, and I'm really curious about like what are the regular tasks product managers are working on like in different companies, because like in my company I'm aware that like there's not much space for ideation, for example, for our product managers, but in other companies, if they are smaller, especially, like the space for creativity is like much wider. So yeah, I'm really curious, like what are your daily tasks, so to say, and do you have any maybe suggestions to Ivan on what he can focus on or something like this?
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm actually feeling a lot more under the weather than I thought. I was like,
I'm sorry.
I want to show up because I love this group and I'll just sit back and listen. Yeah, well, and I do work, I am at a small company where there is a lot of ideation. There is also a lot of documentation because it's really important to align our teams. I think there's a couple of things that stood out to me, but it's in the early stages and it has so much potential, which I think is great. I mean, I myself, because I'm constantly creating documents, I think having a template is always really easy. And like Matt said, I do have to bring my own knowledge to it. Like I I have to be the source of the information. And like Matt said, it's a lot of like going in and editing and adjusting so it like accurately reflects based on, you know, the knowledge that I'm working with. I think, you know, especially, well, big or small companies, making sure that all teams, all departments are involved in the documentation process, I think is very essential to the success of whatever feature you're building, because you just want everybody to feel like they're a participant and stakeholder in it. But I think I don't know if that actually means anything to the demo. The two things I think that personally for me, I found very interesting, which I see is in your coming soon. One of which is, I do agree your note. Oh, did he go?
No,
Okay.
no, he's still here. He just
Okay.
had to turn off audio or video.
I do think your instinct about the note taking sort of as like
project contents. Project contents. You think? I think you're talking about, or
is that, or you were
in
saying
coming
how,
soon there was like in coming soon there was two things: GPT-4 and your project context. Like enter information about your project and generate all
Yes.
documents based on this information. Yeah.
yeah, there was that when I read that, I was like, okay, yes, that totally makes sense. Because yeah. And then the other one though that you were saying though about like, well, specifically about like generating notes based off of your user interviews. Max and I have been having this conversation for a very long time. I do have a very active part in synthesizing user research. And that definitely takes a lot of time because you do want it to be very accurate. You also want it to be digestible for everybody across all departments. And so that is definitely something like that would be what I would use it for, because I think those tools are still emerging. I think in terms of, you know, I'm already working in Notion, so I can use their templates. I understand what you mean about like, you know, not having like that vertical sort of format, but so I think because of the sake of integration, if my team is already working in Notion and I have those documentation template tools in Notion, I'm going to go ahead and do that. But the research synthesis idea, I think is something that would definitely appeal to me as a prospective user of exploring that more. And then also, as you said, like as a future feature, like implementing the knowledge that we have and creating the document templates from that versus just from scratch. So but super impressive and very, very comprehensive. Yeah.
I should ask you, like after the call, which documents are you working on? Because you said you have lots of documentation different on the project. I need to ask you about these like documentation formats, and you know, I will. It's very easy to add new document types right now in PMVisa because like I developed the framework kinda that like it's really you just write in a prompt and it's already on the website. So it's very easy for me to add new document types. So yeah. I will ask you for your document types that you're using.
And I'm happy to do that with a fresher brain, where I can kind of more like fine comb through the site. Definitely would be happy to do that. And I don't think it's not like earth shattering, like, you know, it's simple things like, you know, when you're implementing like a third-party service and breaking down the information about that third-party service so that everybody understands what it is and how it works and they can answer questions, like, you know, that's one thing that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, definitely would be happy to give you that feedback.
You know, I'm kind of sorry for putting you into the spotlight, but I'm also happy I did that because it turned out to be a really good conversation. So like I'm 50-50.
I didn't want to say anything at the top of the meeting. I'm very community oriented, and it's very important to me to be consistent in the communities that I'm part of. And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. Like they're going to leave me alone, whatever. I'm
Not
just
so
not,
fast.
I'm just not operating at 100%. But yeah, anyways, no,
Well,
no,
that
no.
was great feedback.
Hopefully
for
that was
not 100%.
comprehensive. I appreciate
My
it.
gosh, if you're at 100%, I don't know if I can hit record twice on the meeting, because I don't know if we could capture all that content if you're at 100%.
You guys are being too nice. You're being too nice. I appreciate it.
So one more person that I need to put in the spotlight, I guess, today. So hey Jim. So I think you're more on the business development side in Planorama, correct? Or like
Yes. Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, so from the business standpoint, maybe you've got some piece of advice for Ivan, for example, or like something.
Well, I definitely have some questions. Ivan, I really enjoyed watching the demonstration. I've been a practicing product manager, practicing program manager, and all of that quite often in my past. And in fact, I saw the dreaded MRD and PRD generators in your wizard, and that really, I was suffering some PTSD when I saw that, because those are always contentious, and I think hopefully maybe perhaps somewhat minimized and in the past, but I really I really liked, and I was kind of curious. This is not my question, but I was kind of curious. I was imagining, well, I wonder what it's like to interact with this, because you're going to get a first draft, and can you rotate? Can you update and use the application to refine it? So that crossed my mind. I imagine that is something that happens. But from a business side, I am very kind of curious about your targeting practice, and perhaps what kind of tools you're using that are leveraging AI. And in particular, I'm thinking of how big is your typical customer? Probably somewhat small, because, and I'd like to hear what you have to say about, for us, a major goal would be is always to capture a large enterprise, and to get our services into a large enterprise that has a lot of activities that we can leverage, rather than a lot of very small customers. But that's not always so easy, and I'm just kind of curious if you have any comments or thoughts about that.
I think the main problem here is that I have no like B2B sales experience. So yeah, right now I'm going kind of B2B, how it's called, inbound marketing. Yeah, so I'm not doing like cold outreach, cold emails. I'm just like writing posts, posting them to relevant communities and asking for feedback. And for like, it would be nice, like everybody's saying, like, do the boring, huge B2B SaaS. Boring, huge B2B SaaS is like the way to go, is like the safest. I just don't know how to reach these B2B companies. But probably it's not so hard. It's just like uncertain for me right now. But,
are you leveraging your personal network mostly? Just
kinda. I think I'm leveraging my connections. I'm leveraging my communities like yours that I have access to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Well, let me, by the way, let me jump in about your comment about boring B2B, because I tend to think, if you look back how Slack took hold, of course, Slack is basically, internet relay chat fast forwarded into the new century or millennium. But Slack took hold because, they're in enterprises all over the place, but they started with the people. They started with development teams, and all these B2Bs are just people working for them, and they found value, and then they invited their friends to collaborate, and then all of a sudden they realized, hey, this is the new way we have to communicate, forget email. And then they went forward with that. I think one of your features that you may need to incorporate at some point is this idea of collaboration on there, right? And having folks that can participate. And I think what Jim was saying before is probably accurate, that if you're considering, at this point right now, it's kind of half duplex communication. You're getting information out of it, but how do you put back the information into it again and start using that to continue forward as these documents evolve? That and the collaboration, to me, that's how you would get into a business. Because one person's going to use it and they say, hey, I'm using this and I'm going to bring a couple other people to get involved. And then suddenly more and more people are using it. And then that's how you grow into a B2B application.
That's very interesting. Right now I made it like again as like MVP built like in 1 month. I just put a button, copy it, and you can copy it and you can paste it to Notion, you can paste it to a Google Doc, Confluence, whatever app, and it's like saving formatting, saving columns of the spreadsheet. So it's like working pretty good. Yeah, but probably I should like implement some kind of internal editor, and then you like adding button like invite your colleagues, and then like price per seat, and like Slack, Notion, all these like that B2C to B2B. I don't know how to call them.
I don't know how to call it either. I mean, at the end of the day, people, it's not companies, it's just people. People, if you're solving people's problems, no matter what the case is, then you're going down the right path, I think. That's just me talking.
Yeah, by the way, while I've been building my own kind of ChatGPT wrapper for Etsy sellers, so it was focused on Etsy sellers, but like basically it's been kind of description generator for online marketplaces. So for example, you've got a product that you'd like to sell on Etsy, and like you're not quite familiar with how to write a proper description with like all the fancy words, and like to make it catchy, to make it salish, so to say, so that people would buy it. And that was basically the product that I've built. And while talking to other people about how to properly promote it and find new audiences for that app, the general advice, like the rule of thumb, was implement more integrations. Like the more integrations you'll get into your app, even if it's like a ChatGPT wrapper, the more customers you get. And for example, one of the like kind of examples that people were presenting to me was the Shopify integration. So if I would integrate with Shopify at some point, everyone said that I will multiply the number of users by 10 in the first week. And it was the case for many founders that developed their apps for marketplaces and then implemented a Shopify integration. So this might be a way to go. So if like you're kind of like don't know yet how to implement all those, like how to move to B2B, and that might be the way to go, like to like start introducing integrations with Jira, for example, with Azure DevOps. I don't know how that's called right now. And I guess that might be a really good starting point to expand your business further. And
also the same Notion, like the generated document, Bloom, and it's already in your Notion or something like this. It's definitely a way to go now.
And if you're going to be doing a way to export or to convert over, like I like your idea of just copy, like click on the button to copy it, right, and get it on the clipboard. But there are unique ways that you can copy and paste things on the clipboard that may make it easier to drop in to Notion, where if they're copying it and it goes into Notion, it just contains all the right formatting, even maybe lines up the cells, so that you can have if you're going to do a lean canvas, it maybe it could drop it in and become a lean canvas effectively, right? Because it could drop in the block frames in what has been copied. It doesn't have to necessarily just copy, what is exactly on the screen. You could say copy for Notion, right? And then when you go paste, it just drops in perfectly, right? That'd be pretty cool, and probably save people some time, because it looks great on your screen, but if they're going to put it into another tool, the faster you can allow them to kind of take what you see there and make it the same thing you see on their own internal system is probably time well spent.
Yeah, and by the way, there is a whole market for Notion templates, and I've seen a person on Twitter who made it his business, and he's like generating like a huge amount of money out of it. Like it's several, like something like 20 or 30,000 US dollars per month just from selling Notion templates. So yeah, that integration might be absolutely beneficial for your business.
Yeah, and
Um,
I can definitely add to that. I think also as like the teams, even my previous experience, like they obviously AI was not as prevalent as it is now, but even now, you know, working on a very small team, I'm really more on the fringe of what's happening than the rest of my team. And so I have sort of the privilege of playing around with these new tools and experimenting, but I still have to bring it back to a format and an organizational structure that the rest of the team can use. And so that does sort of limit, or not limit, actually, just kind of in a way creates like an extra step. And it would be really great to have the freedom to play around with some of these tools that make my job a lot easier, streamline my role, but then also better aligns the rest of my team, but also meet the team where they're all working. I think right now where we are, you know, we have these established platforms, right? Like we have Slack, we have Notion, we have et cetera, et cetera. And it's figuring out how to just very easily be able to like meet everybody where they're already working. And I know you said like you have the Notion integration, which I think will be great. I think the Jira Confluence, that would be fantastic. That would be huge, I think, to have that as an integration, especially if you're doing, you know, QA or even just tickets, you know, all of that. Because I think as a PM, especially if you think about like the backlog and prioritization, that's a huge pain point, you know, and how to sort of make that as smooth as possible. And I love Notion. I think they got really lucky in that they're like really cute. I find their formatting like very limited. We all use it though. Like I'm not hating on it. But I feel like, you know, if like Matt said, like if it could be like one-to-one, you know, like because I like how it's formatted on your tool and I want to see it formatted in the same way, because I think visually that's as impactful as the information that's there. I think that would be great. Yeah. So it seems like you are there in terms of like integration and whatnot. I think it'd be interesting to, and if you haven't done this already, maybe you have, is really sort of identifying, you know, where your users are doing the most of their documentation. Like I've worked on Asana, I've worked on Trello, like they each have their own ways of doing things, and like being able to have that conversion, you know, so that I can still use it, but my team can also benefit from it as well, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm not a
great.
Notion fan. Yeah, I'm not a Notion fan for that same reason, like the formatting. I can't handle it honestly. So yeah, I kind of have this love-hate relationship. I admire how like how powerful the tool is, and that like people are using it, and even building websites with Notion, like making entire landing pages out of it. But yeah, kind of like if it's a simple, like if it can be done with a simple Google document, like this is absolutely the way I would go. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've got only 2 minutes left, so I've got like a small digest of like different AI news, but I think like at this point this meeting could not have been better, like from all the standpoints. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining.
It's definitely couldn't be better for me, because you know I just received like expert review of my product and lots of different ideas. I feel
Well, you
kind of
know,
guilty that I took the whole time.
no, not at all. I mean, look, this is our fourth call that we've done. and we're trying to figure out like, hey, where's the most value for everybody, right? And this kind of show, we were talking about this, some of us like, hey, what does that look like? And we kind of demonstrated it here. Like, we got to see, your ideas and what you're trying to put forth, and ask questions about how you're progressing through that journey. And you got to get feedback from people that are actually your target market, to a large degree. So
yeah,
I mean,
I had to share my
win-win.
experience. Yeah, I shared my experience, and and you shared your experience with me.
Yeah.
But I think you definitely shared more than I shared, because
No.
lots of you and only one me.
No, this was great. I really enjoyed it, and my God, God help us when Vanilla is actually at 100%, because we're gonna she's basically gonna be like GPT-5. So I'm sorry, I'm just picking on you. I know you're not feeling
I wish your flattery would make me feel better, Matt. I would have pinged you a long time ago. No,
but
I hope it was
this is
useful
cool.
feedback. I hope so.
This is really cool. Well, maybe we can try this again another time and have somebody else come in and do a demo like this too, because it kind of worked out well, I thought, and it was valuable to, I think, everybody. So
yeah, the format is great. Thank you very much, Val, for inviting Ivan. So like, yeah,
yes,
thank you more for that. So yeah,
Me
very
pleasure.
good.
so yeah, Ivan, if you've got a couple more friends with such an amazing products who would like to get some feedback, yeah, please invite them as well. We'd like to see that.
Oh, not such amazing. No, there are nobody.
There's nobody. Yeah, I hear you.
So
Don't want
true.
them. Don't want them competing with you. It's like, no. I get no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining, and yeah, hopefully see you around in a couple more weeks.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah, we'll
everybody.
see you in Slack.
Yeah. Thanks so
we
much.
will.
Have a great weekend.
You as
Yeah,
well.
you
Take
too.
care.
Weekend, everyone.
Take care,
Bye.
Val. See you
Thanks
guys.
all.